Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today, as you all know that the COVID is coming back, so we have a very important topic, and the topic is role of youth in pandemic management. A pandemic is an epidemic of an infectious disease that has spread across a large region, for instance, multiple continents or worldwide, affecting a substantial number of people. A widespread endemic disease with a stable number of infected people is not a pandemic. Widespread endemic disease with a stable number of infected people, such as recurrences of seasonal influenza, are generally excluded as they occur simultaneously in large regions of the globe rather than being spread worldwide. Throughout human history, there have been a number of pandemics of diseases such as smallpox and tuberculosis. The most the most fatal pandemic in recorded history was the Black Death, also known as the plague, which killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people in the 14th century. The term was not used yet, but was for later pandemics, including the 1918 influenza pandemic, that was Spanish flu. Current pandemics include COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, and HIV and AIDS. The World Health Organization, WHO, previously applied a 6-stage classification to describe the process by which a novel influenza virus moves from the first few infections in humans through to a pandemic. It starts when mostly animals are infected with a virus, and a few cases where animals infect people, then moves to the stage where the virus begins to be transmitted directly between people and ends with the stage when infections in humans from the virus have spread worldwide. The basic strategies in the control of an outbreak are containment and mitigation. Containment may be undertaken in the early stages of the outbreak, including contact tracing and isolating infected individuals to stop the disease from spreading to the rest of the population. Other public health interventions on infection control and therapeutic countermeasures such as vaccinations, which may be effective if available. When it becomes apparent that it is no longer possible to contain the spread of the disease, management will then move on to the mitigation stage, in which measures are taken to slow the spread of the disease and mitigate its effect on society and the healthcare system. In reality, containment and mitigation measures may be undertaken simultaneously. A key part of the managing an infectious disease outbreak is trying to decrease the epidemic peak, known as flattening the curve. This helps decrease the risk of health services being overwhelmed and provides more time for a vaccine and treatment to be developed. A broad group of the so-called non-pharmaceutical interventions may be taken to manage the outbreak. In a flu pandemic, these actions may include personal preventive measures such as hand hygiene, wearing face masks, and self-quarantine, community measures aimed at social distancing such as closing schools and canceling mass gathering. Community engagements to encourage acceptance and participation in such intervention, and environmental measures such as cleaning of surface. Another strategy, suppression, requires more extreme long-term non-pharmaceutical interventions so as to reverse the pandemic by reducing the basic reproduction number to less than 1. Just sorry. The suppression strategy, which includes stringent population-wide social distancing, home isolation of cases and household quarantine, was undertaken by China during the COVID-19 pandemic, where entire cities were placed under lockdown, but such strategy carries with it considerable social and economic costs. A method for efficient immunization approach called acquaintance immunization has been developed by Cohen et al. And an alternative method to effectively stop pandemic based on identifying and vaccination mainly spreads has been developed by Liu et al. The COVID-19 pandemic in India is part of the worldwide pandemic of coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2. The first case of COVID-19 in India, which originated from China, was reported on 30th January 2020. India currently has the largest number of confirmed cases in Asia, and as of 25th March, that is yesterday, we have total confirmed cases 1,18,46,082, and yes, yesterday the increment, the new cases were 59,069. Total diseased till date, that means till yesterday, was 1,60,983, and yesterday mortality was 257. And so totally tested pupil 2 crore 37 lakhs, 23 crore 75 lakhs 3,882 were totally tested pupil in India. So this is the situation as of 25th March 2021. And the India was having the third highest number of confirmed cases in the world after the United States and Brazil. The per day cases peaked on 16 September 2020 in India with 97,894 cases reported per day, and have since come down to 9,309 on 11th February 2021. And again, it has increased to more than 59,000 within a time span of hardly, say, 40 days. Role of youth in pandemic management can be of manifold. Youth can promote guidance and guidelines and address the COVID-19 related needs of the most vulnerable in their communities. Youth can provide guidance on through thorough hand washing practices to reduce the spread of the virus. Youth can encourage everyone for wearing masks. Youth can ensure that everyone in community maintains social distances. Youth can safely help seniors and other at-risk groups to access supplies such as food and medication. Youth can provide tools for physical activities and sports using social media during the confinement. Youth can find ways to check on and support others' mental health through social media. Youth can also contribute to data collection and monitoring, including in relation to marginalized communities to assess the COVID-19 response. Youth can motivate and assist senior citizens and others eligible for vaccination. And to discuss today's very, very important, relevant topic, the role of youth in pandemic management, we have 7 youths, as well as we have today's program chief guest with us. And I welcome all the youths as well as our chief guest, and she is Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, a special educator for early childhood education, and counselor. A specialized counselor for the drug abusers and alcoholic with an experience of 28 years in rehabilitation center. She holds a PhD in social work and humanity from USA, postgraduate in Masters of Arts from Mysore, University postgraduate in Diabetic Health Educator from St. John's, Bangalore, and postgraduate in Human Rights, New Delhi. Her second PhD from Mother Teresa University in Counseling Psychology. Presently, she is doing her third PhD in Applied Sciences from Rajasthan University. She completed her research in a project about CSW in Bangalore city under Women and Child Development, Government of Karnataka. She has done research about addictive personality, child's development, psychology, CDP. It was done with the Children of Observation Home Boys, Government of Karnataka. For the outstanding service towards humanity, she was awarded Indira Priyadarshini Award. She is the nominee of Kittur Rani Chennamma, Government of Karnataka, as the best social worker. She was awarded by Art Mantram Bangalore for Go Green Bangalore. She won Women's Achievers Award of N.A. Harris Foundation, Bangalore. She has presented her papers at many international conferences at Turkey, Istanbul University, and Egypt, trained teachers in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and all over Karnataka. She was the counselor in charge of Karnataka State Counseling Center as an advisor for the Karnataka State Minority Commission 2011 to 2012, and has designated pilot projects for the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. She is the founder chairperson of the first rehabilitation center. She is the first minority woman in India to have started such a unique, challenging program. She designed mobile computer and tailoring training units with the help of Ministry of Labor, which benefits for the minority girls who are denied education for various reasons. Her title is Smiley Girl of the Town. She builds a new dawn in the darkest dusk just with positive smile. Welcome, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, on our show. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you came to my show a couple of times earlier, but at that time as a guest panelist. And today, your role is now you are be there as a chief guest, where 7 of the youths are participating virtually with us, as well as many youths are viewing this program globally. Now, today, you know that the corona or the COVID, which has diminished somewhere in the early February, as the figure says, on February, that it is only 9,000 something cases were reported. On 16th of, 11th of February, 9,309. But yesterday, again, it has peaked in a very big way, and now it is increasing day by day. And yesterday figure was total new cases was 59,069. So now, when this is the situation, when COVID is returning back, 1 year has already gone. Youths or the young people have already came to know what was the pandemic. Even all the citizens came to know, because we have not seen the pandemic, such type of pandemic, because the earlier pandemic, the plague was not in our time, or the swine flu was not in our time. So when this is the situation, the main thing is the role of youth. So the role of youth in pandemic management, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, please.
Very good morning to all the youngsters. I can see all the faces on the screen. Please give a big smile. Can I see a big smile? Yes, very good. Okay. Your smile is the confidence of any situation. This is the first line I would like to say. The youth, the role what the youth played, and the role what the youth has to play. It's a major important thing. If you ask us, would we senior citizen like me and Lal Goyal, we can't play a major role, but you all have to. So the first and foremost thing is you have to understand the situation. all the problems, whatever we faced right from the 22nd of March 2020, there was a sudden new name in our lives which said curfew, Janta curfew. Nobody knew what that Janta curfew was. Actually, on the whole, if I have to tell, the situation was handled as a layperson rather than a professional. If the same thing would have been professionally said, professionally conveyed, we would have a better situation to handle such a thing. Especially the youths are not so matured, and the youths never had any idea of what this pandemic was, what COVID was. All these words, were very new to all of us, especially the youths, where they had no clue of what exactly was, house arrest. We only used to see this on the criminal part, or on a part where an individual is, house arrest. When the whole world, especially when India was house arrested, the youth faced a lot of difficulties. I was fortunate as a teacher, as a trainer, as a psychologist, as a child psychologist, as a person to know the youth on a larger part. I was getting many calls like, ma'am, this is the situation, how do I do? This is the situation, how do I do? So the youth were totally not aware of what exactly they were supposed to do and what was their next step. And the second most unfortunate situation with the police department, the youth had to force themselves to stay at home only for one reason. When they saw on the news, when they saw on the social media, when they saw on the other channels how the youth was being beaten up without speaking to them. That was one of the worst condition what the youth had to face, and some were really wise enough to take it up in a very positive way, and the others were also having the kind of situation, that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They were not able to, they were not ready for anything. And the other major thing what really happened was the demand was more, supply was less. The demand was more, the supply was less. Why I say about this demand and supply, because being a counselor for the drug addicts and alcoholics, the only messages what I was getting, ma'am, एक पैकेट सिगरेट जो 160 रुपया था 400 रुपया हो गया है. So these were the kind of messages, and these were the kind of calls what I used to get. अरे चलो, जब सप्लाई कम हो गया तो तुम्हारा भी सप्लाई कम कर दो, तुम्हारा भी डिमांड ज्यादा मत रखो. I just had to take it on a jovial kind of thing, rather being very strict. No, आप सिगरेट नहीं पियोगे, आप ये नहीं करोगे. That was not the situation. I always had the situation, where I had to just crack a joke, make a joke out of the situation, make it easy, so that it will be easy for the youth to handle. Whatever people of my age or people of little elderly age were able to handle, the youth from 17 years till 28 years were not able to do that. So that was a very alarming situation for the youths. But unfortunately, many of the cases what we saw was there was a high rise in the drug addiction and in the so-called crimes, robberies, small robberies, and to a situation where I have got calls that there were 5 boys staying in one room, where within the roommates they started lifting things, because it was just a kind of survival. It was just survival for them, and it was not a kind of habit, or they were not used to it. For the sake of survival, every youth had faced a new challenge, where the parents, the teachers, the society couldn't teach them. I think this COVID situation taught them. And I'm very happy to tell, many of the youth whom I know around me, they handled the situation very well. And the other part of it, what I can say, that many youths started something new and they reached the other level in their life. One of the companies I would like to say in Mangalore, Roadrunners, they really played a vital role in helping the families, in helping the people, reaching things, whatever they wanted, like food, like water, and many other home needs. These Roadrunners, I think they also made a good name and they also made a good fortune. I can say many such examples. But the worst part, what I could really was not able to tolerate, the girls, the ladies who were stuck away from the hometown, they really had a tough time. They had no money to buy the food, and they had no ways of transportation to reach back home. The families, of course, however educated we are, however independent we are, when such a situation comes, the family members and the personally a person, they get so confused that they are not able to know, what will be my next step. They approach the police, they approach the localite, they approach the ministers. I'm so sure, the medical minister who was there, Sudhakar. I had personally, tried so many calls to him just to know, at least supply the medicine what has been required. So this was the I will not say a mismanagement, a situation which was not thoroughly analyzed professionally. So youth had to suffer a lot. But many of them, yes. Again, now, as Lal Goyal said, the alarming situation, I think the second phase, which we can call it as the second phase, as the cases were decreasing, now you can see from the last 30, 40 days, how the cases are increasing. So my dear youths, who do you think is responsible for the second one? Okay, first one, somehow we all tolerated, we all suffered, we all managed, and we all overcame. But in that situation, now we are aware what COVID is. Now we are aware what are the things what we have to take, the precautions. Okay, wash your hands, wear your mask. Many of the college students, many of the school students, I see in the bus stop, I visit the colleges. Of course, I know it is suffocating to wear a mask, especially in this hot sun. But at least when you are among 5 people, among 2, 3 people, just wear it for a minute. And if you feel suffocated, just remove and just take deep breath and breathe out when nobody is there. These are the precautions what you have to take. Otherwise, the situation is already to an extent where we are exaggerated. Financially, socially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. All the 5 supports we have exaggerated and just, trying to swim away the problems. If, as in youth, you don't take care of it, if you don't teach me, if you don't tell me what are the things what's going to happen, then you are the people who will be facing a worse condition than what we have seen for the last 13 months. Okay, I think for 22nd we have already crossed 1 year. So this is the 13th month where we are, and it is a very crucial time. Like the doctors, the other front workers, whoever were there, they have done their best. Now it is the role of the youth to come in front and say that, yes, we are equipped and now we are matured enough to take over the problem and say that we can overcome. And by only how you are overcoming? By decreasing the number of cases, by decreasing the number of people who are getting infected just for one irresponsible act of mine. So if you tell, wear your mask, no, I will not wear. Please, can you wear your mask? It will be a pleasure for yourself. Forget about others. First, I have to be safe. Only if I am safe, I'll make the situation safe. If I am unhealthy, then the entire situation is unhealthy. So that was the one thing what I would say. The one thing what I would like to say, the teachers who were in their just 20s and 30s, I should really say they were the footballs on an empty ground with only two players kicking them from one side to the other side, the management and the parents. Every day, as most of the senior teachers, they were able to take it, but the teachers who were in their 20s and 30s were not able to manage. Every day I got a call, ma'am, I'm going to resign my job. Ma'am, I'm not able to take the mental torture. Ma'am, the school is not certain about one rule. Ma'am, the school is not giving us one set of timetable what we have to do. Not every day. Every hour the management was changing. Every hour the parent was complaining. The parents never appreciated for the role as a teacher. They had to transform themselves as software engineers. They were not even knowing what exactly was the mouse, what exactly is the computer. To that level, they learned how to do it. So that was the real thing, how the youths as teachers managed. Then again, youths as employees in the IT sectors. Again, there was a huge confusion between the employees and the employers because everything was so sudden. जो जहां है वहां ठहर जाओ. ठहरने से जिंदगी होती नहीं है. जिंदगी तो आगे बढ़ने का है. We had to move on, but the kind of rule what was laid, it was statue. We can't be statue for such a long time. So the statue situation came up and it got released. It was that 15 to 30 days, 15 to 30 days, what the youth had to really say, what next? What next? Then they had, I think, hats off to the technology, which gave birth to Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, and all those things. They were able to find out a situation where the youths can start working from home. So work from home made the world to say that, yes, this is the other part of the world. This is the other part of the work. This is the other part of the youth, which made it, yes, we can do it. So the whole situation was a kind of, confusion, struggle, sufferings, mismanagement, whatever was the thing, all the 5 things what I said. Okay. First was the mental stability, what you had to have, then the physical, okay, then the spiritual, social, financial. Financial, social, spiritual, physical, mental. These are the 5 things what they proved that whenever we parents, we said, mera bacha nalayak hai. So there they showed, they proved that, yes, we were layak. When time comes, you all played a major role. Even if you 7 of you who are here, if you just take this program to the other level and say, yes, this is what we have to do. This is what the effort, what, the people above us are doing. So with their help, we can move on. So this is the lesson what you have to take forward for you to decrease the cases day by day. The role of an IT employee, the role of a teacher, the role of a parent, the role of a mother, the role of senior citizen, the role of the society people, the community people, all these roles we have seen. But the impact on this is the youth. You as youth has to take over this. Only then we'll be able to say, yes, the youth have taken over. No government can work on you. No society can stop you. No community can say that, no, this is wrong. Youth have to get together and make one punch and say that, yes, we can do it. And the only message what I would like to give here is youth plays a major role in handling the future situation of COVID, which is on the high rise as of now. We can't close the schools. We can't close any of the education department or the working department. We have done all those things. We have to keep in live all those things and take all the precautions. So you are the youths who will take over.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, for giving such a descriptive thing about the pandemic. You have covered from the very beginning, that is the last year, and till date, what was the situation, how the entire society faced, and especially the youth faced the burnt of the pandemic. And you have also mentioned indirectly that the responsibility lies with the youth if it is increasing, if the COVID is coming back. In one way, it is because the irresponsible behavior by the, I will not say all the youth, but few of the youths, by not keeping the social distances and wearing the mask. But their responsibility is more, in many more fold, because they would have convinced their senior citizens or those who are not that much literate about the importance, why the social distancing, why the wearing the mask, why to keep yourself in a good health is required. And that is why today's our program is. So Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, thank you very much, because you have given in details all the situations, what has happened, what is going to happen, and how it is to be managed. Thank you very much once again. Now I would like to invite my youth guest. My first youth guest is Mr. Amal Rashid. Mr. Rashid, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan.
Yes, yes.
And now we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Mr. Amal Rashid, please first introduce yourself and then
Yeah.
you can talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Myself, Amal Rashid, and I'm CEO at Allan Harbour, an ethical store in Kerala. And I did my MBA from Pune in International Business Management. And I'm from a place called Kottayam in Kerala itself. And respected Lal Goyal, sir, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, and my dear friends, a warm good morning to everyone. First of all, the subject here is role of youth in pandemic management. Indeed, the role of youth is very important in this kind of situations, pandemics. In fact, their role is vital in almost every kind of management in the world. First, when this COVID situation came, the were began to work from the first stage itself by sharing the accurate information via Facebook and like other social media and everything to the world about the how we should be aware of about the COVID and situations and all. And the first of all, the in this pandemic situation, not only spreading of the virus is a threat, but also the mental health issues we will be arising because we are forced to sit in our houses for a very long period of time. Especially for the senior people, senior citizens, they were not used to that kind of situations because all their life they were went out and talk to people, have socializing with everyone, connecting with people and all. So they were having many kind of difficulties while we were forced to sit inside house for very long period of time. At that time, I think the youth have played a very important, crucial role because we were connected to the technologies very much, and we helped to solve this problem by introducing the technologies to the senior people and teaching them how to connect with their friends and colleagues and the family members and all with the use of technology. So I think that have helped a lot to bring down the mental pressure, especially to the senior people and all. And it have brought mental relief to the people who are not aware about these technologies and all. And the dangerous thing in pandemic situations are its unpredictability because there is no set rules or guidelines to fight against these kind of situations because we never know how powerful and how dangerous the virus will be. We never know how these kind of viruses are gonna affect our daily lives, affect our human lives. So at these kind of things, we need people who are able to bring frequent changes to themselves in these kind of uncertain situations. And we need people who are energetic and at the same time daring to handle these kind of situations. So I think there is where the importance of youth comes in. The youth have actually the very updated mindset than the previous generation. People are always ready to learn the new technologies. There have many ways to learn new things, and people are used to learn things. Like young people are used to learn new things, and they love to learn and think out of the box, I think. And in that way, the youth can help the government and other organizations is dealing with pandemic situation while using the tools and the job they are currently working. Like for doctors and psychologists, they can make videos regarding how to be safe and safety informations, and how to be handling our physical and mental health and all. And software developers can develop softwares and applications that helps the government to control and manage the supplies of food and all at the time of pandemic situations. And luckily, I personally think we are living in the best time in the history of humankind, because we are drastically changing. We are drastically witnessing the changes and growth and the flexibility of the world because of the technological advancement happening day by day. The youth is growing up witnessing this one, watching this change, understanding and experiencing these technological advancement and developments and changes that is happening in the world day by day. So they are used to this kind of flexible lifestyle. They're actually okay with this adaptable kind of thing. So I think they are, in my opinion, the youth are more flexible than the previous generation. Way more flexible than the previous generation, in my opinion. And so the youth can effectively work flexibly in the pandemic situation. So that the flexibility is very important. So the youth have that ability. I strongly believe that. And in Kerala, the government have invited and used the help of youth at the time of pandemic, at the time of COVID, in the lockdown period, to coordinate and deliver food supplies and all. Because the young people in Kerala, 2 years back, they have proved at the time of flood happened in Kerala that they can maturely manage a crisis. Well, when a crisis happens, the youth are able to manage this kind of crisis to giving being working as a team and all. So the government is aware about the capabilities and the flexibilities of the young people over here, and I'm really proud of that too. And on the other hand, the problem is there were another part of youth who decided to go for trips and all by sitting. Get bored and all, and then they decided to go for trips and all, and it's not acceptable at all, because as I told earlier, the young people are daring, but using this daring behavior in a negative way is actually a, so they were using this daring behavior, using it negative ways are a threat that endangers many lives and all. So it's really hard to control youth if they start doing negative things and all. So I would say not doing such negative things is also a big responsibility of youth towards the society in this kind of pandemic situation. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Global TV, and thank you, Organ Donation India, especially Paul sir and Oman sir for giving me such an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amal Rashid. As you rightly said about that, the youth can play very, very important role. Yes, we must see the good side from youth across the world. I will just give you an example. Like right now, the vaccination drive is on, which has been started in the month of January by the government of India. And from 1st March, all the senior citizens or those who were above 45 with comorbid diseases were included. And from now 1st April, even all those who are above 45 with or without any disease can also go for vaccination. But the experience till now is not encouraging, because the people are not going. The capacity utilization is very less, not even 50%. So what is happening in USA, I can give you an example of USA. There, the youth are encouraging. And today the situation in USA is that the appointments are not available for the vaccination. The demand is too high. But the role what youth is playing is very, very important. They volunteered themselves because one has to take appointment online. So for those senior citizens or those who are not tech savvy, these volunteers are taking appointment, passing the appointment without any charges. They are not connected with any NGO. They themselves are doing. So even in India, if youth will decide to promote, first to convince the senior citizens at your own home, all those who are eligible, about 45 also, those who are eligible, please convince them, tell them that whatsoever they are listening, they are all myths. The only solution or only way to stop this pandemic is only the vaccination, nothing else, because it's not easy to go ahead with the mask and the social distancing. It is required, but taking the condition of the country where so much population is there with limited area available, it is very much required that everyone should be vaccinated. And for in that, the role of youth is very important. Thank you very much, Mr. Amal Rashid, for giving your views. And I'm sure the other youths will also be enlightened and encouraged to do many works, as what Mr. Amal Rashid has also mentioned. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she's Miss Malvika Sandeep. Miss Malvika Sandeep, please unmute yourself. Miss Sandeep, you have heard what our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan has mentioned, as well as the earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Miss Malvika Sandeep, please.
Namaste, sir. I'm Malvika Sandeep. I'm studying in 10th, Kulabadi Munshi Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Pottur, Thrissur, Kerala. And I would like everyone for inviting me once again to this great platform. It's my greatest privilege to speak once more. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement, and nothing can be done without hope or confidence. This was said by Helen Keller. We should have hope and confidence to defeat this pandemic. The youth in India constitutes more than 1/4 of the total population, and we should be responsible for the country and should participate in its battle against diseases. The power of the youth is the commonwealth for the whole world. And the faces of you, young people, are the faces of our past, our present, and our future. A pandemic refers to an infectious disease that spreads globally and causes mortality on a specific scale. And there has been several breakouts of infectious diseases that have become pandemic in the course of human history. Viral infections such as smallpox, influenza, AIDS, bacterial infections such as plague, cholera, tuberculosis, and protozoans such as malaria. And of course, our dearest corona, the virus who taught us to communicate virtually, mopping the floor, washing clothes, chopping vegetables, and cleaning dishes. We have been more empathetic than we have and doing all our household chores ourselves in this period. Whatever gets measured always gets managed. If positive cases are effectively measured, we'll be able to contain the outbreak effectively. It's our responsibility to spread the right kind of awareness within the family, society, rather than wasting time on optional stuff. Young people they're equipped to identify and share trusted news content with their communities, and they can break down the technological barriers that many face while physically distancing. They were often criticized for connecting through social media rather than talking face to face. Now, at this time, young people can take their time to teach the older generations to stay connected with each other, like sharing informative trend from a physician or a helpful Facebook post from a local business, or showing a parent how to FaceTime. The youth can help in all. The outbreak of coronavirus has affected the mental health of humans, as everyone reacts differently to stressful situations. And in this hour of stress or anxiety, Let's spread the right knowledge, right humors, right videos, and ensure that we win this battle. To understand better, it's not coronavirus which is dangerous, but it's the quick spread which is the threat. Let's do our part and participate in this battle by staying at home. Youth-led organizations and networks should be used to promote protection measures and community response. The young people can promote guidelines to address the COVID-19 related needs of the most vulnerable in their communities. And they can provide guidelines to hand washing practices to reduce spread of the virus. The youth in India are capable to take the country out of the shackles of the outgoing health crisis because the youth of the country are the inspiration of the whole country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Malvika Sandeep. I would just like to add that youth are 65% population in India belongs to youth. So it's not 1/4, it's 65%. You are in majority. So if you people will decide that we have to see to it that this COVID pandemic should not kill the next 1 year of you all or the entire country, and if you all will decide, then the COVID can be stopped. And we have seen, like if you see the countries like New Zealand, Australia, how they contained this virus with a strict measures. But for that, we require a self-discipline. If all the youth will decide, no, we will not do the partying, we will do party after 1 year. Afterwards, the COVID will be over, we will celebrate. But till the time, we will keep the social distancing, wearing the mask, and see to it whatsoever is required to keep yourself mentally healthy, as well as your all family members, because like charity begins from home, similarly, health begins from home. If you are healthy, your family is healthy, then the society, the community, the country will be healthy, then the world will be healthy. So it starts from the youth. You are the key, and now our future is in your hand. Earlier, people used to say the future is the youth. Now we say, no, the future of the senior citizens are in the hand of the youth, not the future of the youth is in the hand of the senior citizens. Thank you very much, Ms. Malvika, for giving very good views about the management of pandemic. And I'm sure the youth will definitely take you from you. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Sanidhya Sanjay. Mr. Sanidhya Sanjay, are you there?
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Sanidhya Sanjay, you have heard our
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, Mr. Sanjay, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Sultan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. You have heard our earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Mr. Sanidhya Sanjay, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanidhya. I live in Lucknow and I am pursuing BCom right now. I'm in second year. So I would like to start with a quote by Jane Goodall, which says, young people, when informed and empowered, when they realize that what they do truly makes a difference, they can indeed change the world. I would like to say that the youth plays a really very important role in all its aspects of our society. But specifically, if I talk about pandemic, youth really needs to they need to start from their own perspective, right? We don't need to participate in groups. We don't need to join NGOs. We can start by our own. And like the technology, which like the advancement of technology, COVID has taught us to join virtually, to connect virtually. We can connect with the people around us virtually, and we can help the society from a very basic thing, just like feeding a dog. From something basic as that, we can go forward and turn the movement into something really big, and we can help the society, right? So second thing I would like to talk about is mental health. It's very important these days because many people don't stay alone. They really need someone to talk. And because of the pandemic, people are staying at home. They're isolated, and they start, two things will happen. Either people will stay positive, or some people go to a negative phase in life because they don't have anyone to talk to them, right? Third thing I would like to say that we can't stop working. We need to find solutions. we had a lockdown, and our country is still facing many financial issues. We are suffering as an economy, so we can't just stop working like that. We need to find solutions. We need to work, and we need to keep it up for the country. Next, like I would like to tell that people like me and us who are watching, who have participated, we are all good and we are enough to perform it from our level. But the people who don't have such facilities really need to be informed. They really need education. They really need to be taught what has to be done, how things have to go. So we really need to teach them. Right. Thank you. That was all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay, for giving your views. And one very important point which you have raised about the feeding the dogs, or even the feeding the birds, etc. I remember when Mrs. Menka Gandhi came on my
Yes.
show, her view was at that time that because the same question was asked about because it was during the COVID, peak COVID, and she says that the main problem which we are facing as animal lovers are how to feed those stray dogs or those who are the birds, the water and the feeds, etc. And she says that, and she encouraged, and she says the youth must come out, try to give something without crowding, fix up the time. At this time, he or she will go and do the things. Yes, this is also very much required. After all, we are thinking for ourselves. If we will think for those who can't speak, the animals, they are also living people. So we must give them the importance, and it's a very, very important role. I must thank you, Mr. Sanjay, for raising this point. This is also a very important aspect, that if we will think for those who are also a living people, and they are also like us, they can't speak. So we must try to feed them. And youth, if the youth will take up this responsibility, I'm sure no stray dogs or the pets or the cats or even the birds will face problems. And especially now, because the summer is there, so much water is required, and those things are required for the birds, etc. They must do it. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay, for giving your views. Now I would like to call my next youth guest, and she is Miss Sharwani Kamal. Ms. Sharwani Kamal, please unmute yourself. You have heard our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. I am sure now I have taken the correct name. Sorry for my slip of tongue, as well as earlier youth guests. Now we would like to know from you your views on the role of youth in pandemic management. Ms. Sharwani Kamal, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharwani Kamal. I'm pursuing my second year in St. Agnes College, Mangalore. It's a great privilege for me to speak on such a good occasion. So I would start like telling, whether is it about students protesting against bullying, ragging, or the young teenagers having a global face for clients, fighting for all those. In the past, events have youth has a great power to change the world or the challenges facing. And now the greatest challenge going on is the pandemic. Youth play a lot of role. Like earlier sir said, the 65% of the population is youth, and we can change a lot. But during this pandemic, I've seen few news feeds littered with stories telling that this millennial or the Gen Z generations are not worried about this, not following the health recommendations or the pandemic recommendations, because this generation is quite ignorant and selfish. I even saw a meme telling that your grandparents were called for a war, you're just told to sit on your couch and you can do it. I guess it's basically a stereotype which is passing on. But there are few moments which can be blamed for the youth. As we can see, all the youth going out, once the lockdown was open, all the youth going out, partying, and not maintaining social distancing. I don't know why is it. But the other hand, in the lockdown, I've seen few youth groups going to the migrant villages or the laborers who never had a place, were stuck with no job, providing them food acting as volunteers, going to the needy old people who can't move out of their houses for the medicines. They have come up opening few shops where they have given few syringes for the insulin or few medicines which they have to take regularly with free of cost or in a minimal shops and provided it home based. Youth can do a lot of things. You know, we can raise this campaigning where we speak about how to use safe practices, how to use masks, sanitizers, to the community where we don't know, the people, or whether laborers or the old community who are not so literate and who don't know what to follow and they don't know what to do, can be told all this. There are a lot of youth organization and networks, you know, which can provide all the information to all the world, which is more useful because nowadays people tend to see campaign more than what's written in the news or something else. You know, youth can promote the guidelines and the situation every, like you see someone not wearing a mask and directly go and tell. It's not that you stand back and tell they're not what should we do. No, you can come. That's where the game starts. Open up your, then the comes back. There are a lot of people right now, the other youth, you know, providing food for animals, dogs, because we staying in home, we have the food supply, but there are a lot of stray dogs which went hungry, and I have seen all my neighborhoods fed by people was not fed, and that is the reality that happened during the COVID.
I think we have lost her also. The network is very poor. This is a situation. I wonder sometimes then when this is the situation, how the online education can be success in India. We have to think many times because here it's only for 1.5 hours. There the education is for 4 hours, 6 hours, or sometimes 8 hours. It is not so easy. But anyway, what Ms. Sharwani Kamal has mentioned is very important, that the youth can play a very, very important role. And that is no doubt about it. Only thing is that they should not, what she has also mentioned, that they should not go and out enjoy the parties, etc., without thinking that tomorrow again, if the lockdown will be there, then what will be the situation? Ultimately, who is going to be the sufferer more? The senior citizens have that much patience now, so they can stay home easily, but it is very difficult for the youth or the young generation to keep themselves in home. So it is for your own benefit that the youth should see to it that the COVID should go, the pandemic should be managed nicely. Thank you very much, Ms. Sharwani, Sharwani Kamal. Sorry, because of your low bandwidth, we can't hear you further. But anyways, you have made your point. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Ms. Sinora D. D'Souza. Ms. Sinora D. D'Souza, please unmute yourself. Ms. Sinora D. D'Souza. Yes, Ms. Sinora, you have heard what our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as earlier youth guests have spoken. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Ms. Sinora D. D'Souza, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Sinora. I am studying in class 9 and I'm from St. Teresa School in Mangalore. So today I'm going to discuss about how we as the youth can play a crucial role in the pandemic management. Coronavirus, a pandemic that has made us realize that we are all connected and we are a part of a global family. We know what the problems we are facing for the past 1 year, and so it should not continue. So what is our role as a youth that we should play? The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. So we, the youth, have to play our part in trying to reduce the impact of this COVID-19. So some of the ways are taking the lead on. We must be the first person to initiate the social distancing, wearing of the mask, use of sanitizer, and other such social norms. so that we will be able to set an example in the society. Vaccinating. We know that the recent campaigns have started for vaccinating the senior citizens. So we must assure them that these vaccines are safe so that by us, they do not face this disease. Aid the government in recovery measures. We can help the various NGOs by volunteering to help in the distribution of supplies like cooked food, shelter, and other essential commodities. The right use of technology. We all know that the most important connectivity tool in our era is technology. The social media allows us to discuss about various things that are happening around us, and it also includes our COVID-19. We are aware that the earliest stories of COVID-19, we received it through the social media, which created the awareness. But we must also be sure that these news are 100% sure before we rumoring it. Educating our families, friends, especially the senior citizens. We know that this time has been a little bit all right for the youth, but then senior citizens who used to spend time more with the family are really feeling very lonely. So we can teach them the use of modern technology, for instance, video conference, so that they will be also able to interact with the family. Donate. We can donate both in terms of money as well as time so that we will be able to help our country in reducing the impact of this COVID-19. Regardless, I would also like to mention, and I really appreciate our government for taking the important measures in the earlier steps and prevented the major impact of this COVID-19. But how far as we as youth have partaken in it, let us make it a point to partake in it. Creating awareness through speech. We all know that speech is the inner voice of our soul and it can initiate a change. For example, meeting here in this video conference is itself an example that we are creating awareness among the youth and also benefiting from it. And it will be extremely helpful for us to reduce the impact of this coronavirus. The youth is not just a word. The youth is the world. And we as the youth can be the change. So during this pandemic, let the darkness be covered by the light of hope and kindle us thus and make it a point to take up this challenge and strive to win this battle against the COVID-19. Let the positive vibes of the youth overpower the negativity which is generated by the coronavirus, hence playing our role as the youth as the change makers. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sinora, for giving your very, very positive thoughts. And that is what we require, that today the country requires such type of positive thoughts from the youth. If youth will take a decision, like you rightly said about the use of social media. Yes, social media is having, it's a double-edged sword. If you are using it rightly, it is a very, very good tool. Like you have mentioned that if social media is used, and if you come to know any news on social media, first cross-check it, whether it is fake or not. If it is not fake, circulate it for the benefit of others. If it is fake, please don't circulate it at all. Rather, inform the person who has forwarded to you that it's a fake news. Please don't circulate it. So that is a very, very important role which the youth can play in this pandemic. And that is a very important aspect of this management of pandemic. That is stopping the fake news or stopping the rumors which are harming or which are creating a problem in this management of pandemic. And especially like for vaccination, there are so many myths are there. The youth have to come. Youth can study. Youth can go they can do the Google search. They will find what is the benefits of the vaccines. and then they can explain to the senior citizens and to those who are eligible for, and motivate them to go and see to it that they should be all vaccinated. Thank you very much, Ms. Sinora, for giving your views. Hats off to your school for encouraging you and such type of students. That is what we require in India. Thank you very much. Now I would like to go to my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Tejaswini Kumar M. Bhatt. Are you there, Mr. Bhatt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tejaswini Kumar Bhatt, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, as well as earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Mr. Tejaswi Kumar M. Bhatt, please.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Good morning to all whoever is present here on the panelist and the people watching this event live. My name is Tejasvi Bhatt and I am from Udupi. I'm currently pursuing my master in business administration from Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, specialized in corporate and investment finance. Today's topic, it's about the role of youth in pandemic management. We all know that the COVID-19 has affected many lives. It is like, once in a generation crisis, and might can also expect such health crisis to, it's kind of recurring in nature. Impact of such pandemic is very humongous and has made our lives very uneasy. It almost halted the lifestyle, and it made us all feel like we are going 200 years back or so. Among the most impacted are the helpless migrants, of which youth are the largest number of migrants, who are starved of funds, food, and hardly have resources or space to practice social distancing. In increasing numbers, young people are proactively combating the spread of the virus and working to address the pandemic's impacts. They are at the forefront of risk communication initiatives. For instance, they can address misinformation, they can reduce the discrimination and stigma related to the crisis. They can even disseminate information about COVID-19 using various platforms in official and local languages as well. One can even use youth-led organizations and networks to promote protection measures and community response. The young people can promote guidance and guidelines and address the COVID-19 related needs of the most vulnerable in their communities. One can also provide guidance on thorough hand washing practices, wearing masks, and all other coronavirus related norms and regulations that needs to be followed to reduce the spread of the virus. Can also help safely help senior citizens and other at-risk groups, what we can term it as 60+ group, and to access supplies, to give them access to supplies such as food and medication. One can also provide tools for physical activities like sport using social media during the confinement. One can also find ways to check on and support others' mental health through social media. Social media can be a great platform to check on others as well. One can also contribute to data collection and monitoring, including in relation to marginalized communities, to assess the COVID-19 response, like how we what are the current number of increased cases, how exactly coronavirus, what is the margin of coronavirus reduction. These things needs to be provided through social media as well. Having said that, let me quote some interesting facts about the virus, which spreads faster than COVID-19. Even a doctor from Benin, Mr. Hashim, says that there were two diseases spreading a lot during the situation. One is coronavirus, the other is fake news virus. And the vaccine for both shall be good information. Youth can make use of social media and apps to provide citizens with accurate information and put a break to fake news about the vaccines. Impacts, fake news about the vaccines and impacts and false updates. Young people are resilient and resourceful. Let me quote example for that. A disabled athlete, a physically disabled athlete from India, Shrey, who is 25 years of age, has pursued his education and is currently working in the Special Olympics. He learned quickly to adjust to using digital platforms to participate in virtual meetings and receive online feedback from his lecturers. from learning about these platforms to now becoming a teacher himself about them in his free time, helping his fellow mates, he's helping his fellow athletes at the Special Olympics, adjust with the online social interactions by providing live training sessions. He also started his own YouTube channel with the aim of inspiring other people with disabilities to keep pursuing their ambitions despite of the present uncertainties. Even young people are even natural collaborators. For example, Ramesh from Nepal, he sees the value of being united in overcoming the challenges of the pandemic. In his village, he has coordinated with local organizations to not only spread awareness about hygienic practices, but also to raise awareness of another crisis, and that is domestic violence against women. He emphasized women empowerment too. In working with the Plan Nepal scheme and in the Women Rehabilitation Center, he advocates for women to be more capable of fighting for their rights during this time and seeking justice for those who have been, abused in the household. He sees the pandemic as something that goes beyond religion, beyond gender, and beyond social status. It is only by battling it together that humanity can overcome this crisis. We already have a huge gap between the rich and poor or vulnerable, and pandemic just increased the gap more, making things even worse. The pandemic more or less revealed the existing inequalities prevailing in the society. Protecting the most vulnerable should be a priority in such critical situations, and that is what the youth volunteers did all the way through the hard times. They helped the vulnerables, or they helped the weaker sections move from places, provided them with the information, provided them resources, served food and groceries, and many more stuff. So these examples of young leaders are just the beginning of an exhibition of the mighty prowess coupled with kind heart that happens to be a boon the young individuals possess. And there is many more to it, and we will be witnessing with the time passing. Now, speaking about the youth volunteers, they must receive a huge applause for sacrificing their family times when they in fact could have spent their time with their near and dear ones during the lockdown. But instead, they choose to serve for the betterment of the people who were under the lockdown and quarantined due to the pandemic. They brought them groceries, food, water, delivered at their doorstep without any expectations or expecting any kind of appreciations. They didn't do that to impress anyone, neither did for joy. They risked their lives to make lives of people risk-free. While we were all enjoying our lockdown leisure at home, they traveled across the towns, cities, carrying food and medical kits to serve the unserved.
Okay.
What I would like to conclude by saying is that like how corona warriors, what we say, the frontline health workers, doctors, police, whoever it may be, I would also expect the youth people or the youth across the country should also be a part of being called as corona warriors, youth warriors. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's a great pleasure for me to being called for the second meeting over here. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tejasvi Kumar Bhatt, for giving your views. And you have raised a very important point, and that was the domestic violence. Yes, during the pandemic, the figures have come that the domestic violence have increased in many folds. And here the youth plays a very, very important role. They have to keep a watch at their own home as well as the neighborhood. If they find such type of thing happening, immediately they must report to the concerned department or the police, so that no domestic violence should take place. We must understand that if we are safe in India, the mortality rate is safe because of our kitchen supremacy. It's because of the women of the house, whether it's a mother, sister, wife, daughter, they are saving us from the all this pandemic by providing the best healthy food. So one must be very, very careful, and the responsibility lies with the youth to see that no domestic violence should take place during the pandemic. That is also a very important point. Thank you very much, Mr. Tejasvi Kumar, for giving such type of new point which is also required as far as the pandemic management is concerned. Now, I would like to go for my last youth guest, if he is there, Mr. Manish Mohan. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in pandemic management. Mr. Manish Mohan, please.
Yes, sir. So, good morning to all. My name is Manish. First time I'll tell you about my brief about me. Okay, my name is Manish Mohan. I am from Kerala, and right now I am pursuing BBA second year in Ernakulam from the College of Bhavans College Art and Commerce in Kakinad in Ernakulam. It's affiliated from the college University. So first of all, I want to thank to my one of my
Please
media
come to the
that,
point. We have very less time. Please come to the point because of your net problem. Please go
Yeah.
ahead. Come to speak on that point, please. Yeah, I think we have lost you again. No, it's not possible because of your net is weak. Next time we will take you, Mr. Manish. So now I would like to go back to our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you have heard all the youths. They have given views and very positive views in all different angles. They have given some new things which were not, at least I was not aware about those things, and that they are very, very relevant. So now we would like to know from you what you found today's conference and what you want to give a further message, the inspirational message to the youth. Our chief guest, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, please.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations all of you from Kerala, from St. Teresa's School, Mangalore. You really spoke well. And Amal Rashid, we were not able to hear him, but we could hear the important points from Amal Rashid and Sanjay from Lucknow, and Sherwani again from Mangalore, Tejas from Udupi. You all spoke very, very well. But one thing, Lal Goyal, what I saw in all the 6 of them whom I heard, everybody have spoken about mental health. Yes, that's a very, very it's a very important point what you spoke about mental health. This is where, where the addiction, the coffee addiction, the drug addiction, smoking, alcohol, all was on a high rise. You must have seen in the news right from Mumbai to Bangalore, the amount of raids what the police had done. And they had also raided a huge amount of drugs. Huge. I was really very happy. I'm really very happy to tell that I was a part of this, and it was really a wonderful experience. And it was a new learning for me also, like how the youths were unable to manage their mental stability. That's the reason I said your mental status. This plays a major role in your life, not only in the COVID situation, but also otherwise. If you're mentally not stable and your brain, your body craves for some other chemicals, you really need help. You really need help. If your body is craving because of your mental unstableness, that is the time when, oh, I want to try for a smoke, I want to try for a joint, I want to try an alcohol. All this thing starts from here. The time is very short. I would just like to say, we all know what is the problem with, when we have a mental instability. I will not call it as a mental disorder. I will not call it as mental illness. I will not call it is just a temporary situation. For this temporary situation, you don't have to take a permanent cure as replacing with some other chemicals. I've just used the chemical substance so that, it has many forms. Within the homes, they had so many other chemicals which were easily available. And then the mental stability was not there, where not only the men had domestic, were showing their power as domestic violence over the women. I also had cases where the women were not able to be stabilized where they had the same kind of situation where men also were beaten up, where men also ill-treated, where men were literally thrown out. Okay, this is the situation. It was not like, I don't want to become, a male and a female, men and women, nothing like that. Overall, the being of a human being, the whole situation was shaken up. Like we all had to have a new identity. Chalo, where am I? Where do I stand in this situation? The only way where you can stabilize your mental stability is that having a positive thought towards the situation where you're facing as of now, only as of now. Don't make that as your permanent one and say, this is what my life is. You all really spoke very well, very matured, very well versed. If through this media conference with Lal Goyal and the global news channel, whatever they are trying to put forward, each one of you, let's take an oath on this platform that in a day, I will just give message to 2 people, whether it is youth or whether it is senior citizen. More, if you give 1 youth, it is equivalent to 10 senior citizen. Because if you give one senior citizen, that senior citizen will keep the information only for himself or herself. But if you give this message to a youth who is arrogant, ignorant, egoistic, having pride, I am young and this will not have this for me. COVID is not for me. Does COVID really exist? There are so many situations. If you are able to convey this message to them in a positive attitude, I think that will be the best mental stability for the youths. Youth have to have this, okay, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This is the only thing what you have to say. This too shall pass and we will overcome them. हम होंगे कामयाब आज, not एक दिन. हम होंगे कामयाब आज. इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर हम इस कामयाबी को, we will give them a thumbs up. So my message to all the youths is your mental stability is more important than your physical, social, spiritual, financial. Mentally you're not stable, you're gone. So your mental stability with this, on this platform, I would like to give, keep a smile and take things very, very cool. Nothing can go over your head. Wishing you all the best, passing this message. Best of luck to the youth.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, for giving such a smiley message to all the youth. I'm sure all the viewers today are also smiling, sitting wherever they are watching. And so today you have seen how the youth are ready to manage this pandemic, because they have seen last 1 year and they are ready to do all those things which is required so that the COVID, which is raising day by day, should not be that much problematic which it was earlier. Thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, and thank you all our guests, youth guests. And today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, Newsgaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on YouTube and Facebook. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow our topic is media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. COVID returns, impact on judicial system. Yes, COVID returns, impact on judicial systems. And our panelists are Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, his chairman, Gyandeep Shiksha Bharati Senior Secondary School, Mathura, Advocate Sunil Bhargav, Mathura, Advocate Divya Goyal, partner, Legum Amicus, New Delhi, Mr. Srijan Mishra, research scholar, Maharashtra National Law University, Nagpur. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, and all the youth guests. And today's program is quite enlightened because so many new facts have emerged that youth can play a very, very important role for management of pandemic. And this is up to you, not only those who are participating here, but all the youths who are viewing the program. And as well as I appeal to all the senior citizens, please keep faith in youth. They are the real motivators for all of us. They let them take a decision. If they say that the vaccine is correct, please go get yourself vaccinated as early as possible. Please save yourself, please save the youth also, because if you will not take the vaccine, you are not only harming yourself, you are harming the entire family, entire community, entire country. So please get vaccination as early as possible. Thank you very much. Thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thanks a lot.